Okay, good morning. It's time for morning procedures. You got to get the trucks ready to go and out to the jobs. Now, the first thing to do is to make sure your truck is properly loaded. That's critically important. You should have actually gotten the truck pretty much loaded the night before, but there are always last-minute changes that need to be taken into consideration in the morning, or sometimes there are situations where you just don't know the night before what you're going to be doing the next day. We do understand that. But even if you've got the truck completely loaded the night before, you're going to need to, in the morning, check through all of your notes before you leave the office. That's step 2, but it's integrated with step 1. If you check through all your notes, you're going to find maybe there's an extra job where you need hay for spot seeding and you didn't have hay loaded up. Maybe there's a job where you need a fungicide or a specific type of fertilizer like 624 that we use fairly often. So it's very important to check through your job notes in the morning and to make sure your truck is completely loaded. Go through, take those few extra minutes before you take off. You also need to check the air pressure on the truck and the trailer tires. That's another thing. Poor air pressure leads to poor performance, leads to blown out tires and flat tires, which causes a lot of downtime that's completely unnecessary. Check the air pressure on each of the tires on the truck and on your trailer. Double check your equipment as well as your material. Your equipment, you need to make sure you have every piece of equipment you're going to need for the day. And again, that ties back into checking your notes at the beginning of the day to make sure you know what's going to get done that day, what types of equipment do you need. Okay, some days you might need a special piece of equipment. You want to make sure to account for that. Check the engine oil in the truck. This is simple, it takes about 3 minutes. Just check the engine oil in the truck every day. If we do all of a sudden get a leak in one of the trucks, you're not going to find out until it's too late sometimes. And by just checking once a day, take a few extra minutes in the morning, take a look, make sure the oil is, that you have enough oil, top it off if you don't. Make sure it looks reasonably clean, alert us if it needs to be changed, but you got to check the oil in the truck. And then finally, you want to make sure if you're using a trailer that you check the brakes on the trailer to make sure that they're properly adjusted. Okay, so you check the trailer brakes to make sure they're properly adjusted. So, in short, in the morning before you get the services going, you need to check your notes very carefully to make sure that you have a truck full of the proper material that you are going to need for that day. Again, it should be pretty much loaded up from the night before, but in some circumstances it might not be, or there's changes that have been made, so you need to be aware of those. You need to make sure every piece of equipment that you might need for the day is done. Check all the checklists. You're going to check the air pressure in the truck tires and in the trailer tires. You're going to check the oil in the truck, and you're going to check the trailer brakes if you're using a trailer. And then you should be ready to go for the day.